Well, in today's video, I'm going to talk about the cost of living in Virginia Beach, Virginia, so you can figure out what your actual lifestyle will be like when you move to Virginia Beach, and we're starting right now. Hey, my name is Sam Santalone and I'm a real estate agent in the Hampton Roads area, Virginia Beach, all the way up through Williamsburg, and I do videos every week about living and moving to the area. So today we're talking about the cost of living in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So what I'm going to do in this video is go category by category, like gas, food, entertainment, what it costs to live in a house prices, rent, all that, just to give you an idea of the entire cost of living picture. Because I do think that one of the most important things people do when they move to this area is get a glimpse up front of what their lifestyle will be like before they move here. Because if you find that these numbers do not work for you, I might have saved you a trip or saved you a move to an area that you don't think you're gonna like, and you might end up moving to a different state instead. Alternatively, I've worked with a lot of people that love this area and think it's wonderful, and for what you're getting, it's a lot, you know? But it depends on what your expectations are before you come here, and that's part of the reason for this video. And so that's my goal, is to help you. So I'm gonna share my screen with you, and I'm gonna use the NerdWallet cost of living calculator, because that's one calculator that people often use to give reference to what it's like to live here. And I'm gonna talk about what it says in the calculator, but I'm gonna also give you my reactions to what the numbers are that they're giving, so you can get an idea of me as a local. I've been here my whole life. I can tell you what my experiences have been compared to what the computer is saying. So let's get into it. The NerdWallet cost of living calculator. It shows a certain city that you live in currently and where you might be moving to. And I use San Diego, California as an example. So one thing I want to mention also is a lot of times when you look at cost of living calculators, and also just when you're researching in general in Virginia Beach or the area, is that it talks about Hampton Roads in Southeast Virginia instead of Virginia Beach itself. Virginia Beach and Hampton Roads are they mean two different things. Virginia Beach is inside Hampton Roads, and Hampton Roads is a larger, greater area. It's made up of 7 cities, or actually more than that, really, in the area, and so they'll use aggregate numbers in the entire area often to reflect what the cost of living or other expected numbers are like. But really, Virginia Beach is very different in a lot of ways. But there's some categories here: housing, transportation, food, entertainment. Transportation costs, let's start there. Gas. Okay, so San Diego $3.79, I don't know how accurate that is. $2.48 in Virginia, Hampton Roads, not happening. This is old information. Right now I would say the baseline, what I expect when I'm paying a gas in Virginia Beach or any city really, is around $3.10 to $3.20 for regular, upwards of close to $4 and around there for high test, maybe even a little bit more than that. So this is way off, at least 20%. You gotta adjust up for gas in Virginia Beach now, especially in the last year and a half. And then going to food costs, there are a few things here that I don't often buy. Don't buy a lot of bread, so that might be right, but I'm not too sure. But a dozen eggs, I've seen it as cheap as I think 66 cents at Wegmans in Virginia Beach. Dozen eggs, San Diego, that's pretty much a lot higher. Gallon of milk, I think this is closer to 3 something, I think, for a whole gallon in Virginia Beach. So that $1.76 is definitely off there. McDonald's and Pizza Hut, you're not gonna see me in a Pizza Hut or McDonald's. I don't buy fast food very much. The 2 fast food-ish ones I would buy are Chipotle and Cava. Chipotle, I can tell you right now, I bought a burrito yesterday and it cost me, I think it was $9.46. For the regular chicken burrito. And also for Cava, that's like a Mediterranean fast food place, a bowl costs about $12. But eating out, that shifts over to the entertainment costs. Eating out for me and my wife, if we do this just a basic, you know, like a quick thing, like a noodles, spa, like a bowl, it's like usually around $15 per person, so about 30, upper 20s, low 30s. It could be anywhere from like the $25 to $35 range for two of us, and then if you add tip or something to that, that can, you know, add several dollars for a place like that. But generally speaking, I think you'll end up spending between $80 and $100 for a lot of those places that are a little bit more expensive, you know, $20 for a dish, $20, $25, and going down to, you know, like the noodles, like the sandwich places that you'll be paying between $25 and $30 usually-ish for 2 people. But going to other entertainment concepts here, movie tickets. Okay, so San Diego $14.12, that's closer to accurate for this area. Hampton Roads 863, not in a long time. Right now, AMC Lynn Haven in the middle of Virginia Beach is $11 cover. The ticket cost itself is $11. Then you add service charges to that. You're paying about $14 total for one ticket in Virginia Beach, generally speaking, not including IMAX and all the other unique theater experiences. So that's off. Yoga classes. I don't do yoga, and I don't know the cost of a yoga class here, but I can tell you about rec centers. You can pay, anywhere from like the low, like, $50 to $100 a month or over $100 a month for a gym membership. But I want to talk to you about the rec centers here in Virginia Beach. If you have a license that has Virginia Beach on it, if you're a resident of Virginia Beach with your ID, you can get rec center pricing of just over $100 a year. And there are, I think, now 8 rec centers that are, I think they're all now redone. Really nice inside. You've got a gym, you got a running track, you've got a playground for kids, pool in most of them, outdoor baseball, tennis courts in some of them, in some of the outdoor spots, a lot of stuff inside. It's they're real nice gyms and real nice rec centers for just over $100 a year per person. Now, if you do a family plan, it's still cheaper per person, even on top of that. So it's way more than you get for Planet Fitness, and you're paying about the same amount, in my opinion. So I would suggest looking into those if you're going to be doing some rec center, or if you're going to be doing some working out. And there are spots across the city that are pretty close to most of the areas you might be living in. 6-pack Heineken beer, $9.96, that seems about right. I mean, $10 for most, like your basic beers, seems about right. You'll see some like higher microbrews that are more expensive, obviously, $12, $15 for a 6-pack. But Heineken, Bud Light, Coors, those basic ones, usually around $10 or sometimes maybe even $9 every once in a while. And also going to a baseball game locally. The Norfolk Times is a AAA baseball team here that it's in Norfolk. The cost for a ticket used to be like, when I was a kid, I can get a ticket for like $6, $7. Now the tickets start around $12, $13 after taxes. You're talking closer to $15 for one ticket. So a group of 4 wants to go out. $60 for tickets is about right to expect for a decent seat at Harbor Park. Good news is most of the seats are great because it's not a big stadium. And now going to healthcare. The couple I want to mention focus on doctor's visit and dentist visit. $75 for doctors and $104 for dentists. That also seems about accurate from what we pay, copay and all that, but of course it also factors into what you're paying in insurance. So now shifting over, one more concept I want to talk about is going over to the cost of living for bestplaces.net. Same city comparison, but what I want to use here is there are some numbers. I use a number scale to show what the average cost of living for a city is in relation to the country. So if 100 is average, that's what they show here, then you have different scales for different categories. Virginia Beach, 103.3 for overall index. That's about just over average. That seems about, I feel like it feels a little bit more than that from talking to other people in the country that move here. I've talked to a lot of people that are kind of surprised at what it might cost to live here. And then, so the biggest thing I want to mention here, number 1, is utilities at 97.1, just under average. So this leads me to my personal experience with utilities. We use gas and electricity for heat and AC. Gas in the wintertime, we get cold. Now last year we were paying probably between $3.25 and about $4.25 a month in the wintertime for gas. But this year I think that's going to be going up, and past month we were paying over $500. So I would guess in that $475 to $550 range is what I would expect this season for gas. Averaging out for the entire year, probably closer to the $275 to $300 a month range for gas. Now for electricity, we pay just over $100 a month for electric as well. So adding to that, we've got water. We pay around $100 a month for water as well. And then on top of that, the cable and internet. So we pay up just over $150 a month for Verizon. And we do like an added sports package, but that's about it. So you're gonna start around that 130s range for cable and internet is my guess for Cox or Verizon. And those are the two companies that service this area primarily, they're Cox and Verizon. So you'll find competitive rates for both of those, but internet's around 80, and then you add the cable on top of that. Now let's go to housing. You see housing here, $279.1 for San Diego. If you're in that type of area, you might know if that's accurate, but 116 for housing in Virginia Beach, I think that's low, and I'm gonna compare that also to the housing costs in NerdWallet here. Median 2-bedroom apartment to rent, $11.20 a month. That is so wrong. That is so wrong. You can find apartments for $11.20 a month. You can find them mostly in different cities in Hampton Roads. In Virginia Beach, not happening. So you gotta start to find a 2-bedroom apartment, probably closer to $14, $15 just to start, and then you're really more so going into the $16, $17, $1,800 a month range if you want a specific school district, if you want a certain location that's more in demand. I know someone that has a 2-bedroom townhouse in Ocean Lakes High School District, which is one of the more in-demand high school districts in Virginia Beach. They're getting just over $2,000 a month in rent for just that townhouse, about 1,500 square foot 2-bedroom townhouse. So that number is definitely deceiving if you do use that for Virginia Beach. For the rest of Hampton Roads, I can see it being closer to that, but still not usually that, unless you're talking about some specific cities in Hampton Roads. Now, going over to median home price. This is where it gets even more interesting. 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses. San Diego, I don't know if that's accurate. It feels a little bit low to me, but I can tell you right now, Hampton Roads in general, that's not too far off. I think it still is a little bit off, a little bit low, but Virginia Beach specifically, median home prices I think now are closer to the $385, $390 range. Now that is a wide range of house prices because you've got a lot of houses that are between $4 and over $1 million. There are some, a good amount, that are still under 4, but once you go under 325 and 300, it gets a lot more difficult to find houses, single family houses in Virginia Beach. Now you also have townhouses you can include in here too, which does decrease the median price, which makes it closer to this number, but still not what I would tell you to expect when you get here, because the biggest thing I want to say, this is my soapbox right now about the real estate market and what to expect when you move here, is that Zillow and all the other those real estate sites that put out listings, the listings are extremely deceiving, and Zillow does an awesome job at showing you listings and making it nice to look at and easy to see what's there. It only gives you a certain perspective, a small window of what the actual house and the actual area is like. It is so hard to know that from a different area, and that's why I suggest coming here at least one time to get an idea of what's here, because what you might expect to pay for the lifestyle that you want might not be enough for what it might cost. I don't know that, and I don't know, it depends on where you're coming from. You might be coming here from a place that is a lot cheaper to live, and moving here might be an extremely big stretch, or might be more of a shock than what it might have seemed by looking at the real estate sites and looking at the houses. So for example, I want to show you between 275 and 325 what the amount of houses that are available or are under contract right now in Virginia Beach. And you see most of the congregation is over on the central or western sections of Virginia Beach. Going to, let's just say 500 to 650. The prices, the locations of those houses shift either towards the north along the water or towards the eastern sections. So you notice that it depends on where you're living in the city of Virginia Beach as to how much you're going to be paying, and how accurate is that 318 number. It's going to depend on where you're living and what kind of house that you want. So if you want a house that's 275 or 300, you can get a nice house in a neighborhood that's great, but the thing you might be giving up is, if not neighborhood, it could be the size of the house, it could be 1.5 baths instead of 2, it could be the condition of the house, it could be the floor plan. All these things add up, size of yard, add up to what can make a lower price. You want to live near the water, like near the ocean, for example. The ocean, $1 million plus most of the time. Walking distance, 6 to 7 and up from there. But on like a lake or on a larger body of water, but that's not the ocean, you're going to be paying closer to the 5s, 6s, 7s and up from there. So you can get a little bit cheaper if you want to be on a water front that's not, or water area that's not on the actual ocean. If you want to be in the 3s, you're not going to be able to get too much on water, and it might take you 20 minutes to get to the beach. But if that's okay, then this might work out totally as well. So it depends on what your lifestyle is and what your expectations are. But I really think coming here first, at least one time, to get a feel of what like a 300 house or a 600 house, $100,000 priced house feels like in the areas that you want to live in, and so you can match the ideas you've gotten from looking at Zillow and looking at all the Redfins and Trulias to match it to what it actually feels like here. Now, are you still interested in Virginia Beach? If you are, please let me know. I'll put my contact information in the description here. You can reach out to me at any point, and I will do whatever I can to help you relocate to this area, because I love helping people relocate here. And I will see you on the next video.